never seen so much blood in my life.
Darrington had a reputation as a very violent prison.
Hey, new boy, coming for you.
Just a sense of alarm. You don't belong here. Get out, get out. Within the next few minutes,
Pull it.
all hell's gonna break loose. I thought they're gonna kill you. Just keep running.
Anytime anybody's willing to break out of a penitentiary, I know one thing. They're desperate.
Our biggest fear is that he's armed.
Give me your money now!
This is what freedom is all about. My name is Dennis Wainhope. I love country music, fast cars, beautiful women. Most of all, I love excitement. I guess that's the way it all started. When you're standing there waiting to pull a gun, it's just like someone's dumping a truckload of adrenaline through your veins. There's no turning back.
How you doing?
This is it.
Give me all your money now!
Unfortunately, many of the things that release the greatest adrenaline are often risky and illegal. In all the armed robberies I didn't hurt anybody.
But I got an 80-year prison sentence. I was put on a chain bus, heading for the Darrington unit, south of Houston.
I was 22 years old. The reality of exactly where I'm at sets in when the bus pulls up at the back gate. Fresh meat! I got first bids on that one.
Fresh meat, fresh meat, fresh meat!
And it's just a variety of slurs that you hear come out.
I'm gonna make all you laugh. Oh, yeah.
My worst fear was being raped because of my young, innocent look.
Hey, clear! Hey, new boy! Coming for you.
I'm thinking I'm gonna do whatever it takes to defend myself.
In the early 90s, I was a criminal investigator at the Darrington unit. Darrington had a reputation as a very violent prison. They had an offender population of approximately 2,000.
Open!
The majority of them doing long sentences.
Let's go!
Murderers, armed robbers, violent offenders. There was no place worse they could send you.
At first, I surveyed the scene. I looked around to get an idea of how far things were. And I realized, the fields are wide open. You're not just going to take off running and get to a tree line before you get a bullet in the back of your head.
I got a job in the prison kitchen. That's where I met Harry.
Hey, you're new here, aren't you?
Yeah, Dennis Hope.
Harry Decker.
I got along good with Harry.
How do you like it so far?
As long as he felt you're not one of these BSers, he was solid.
I can't stand it.
My way out at that time was my appeal.
Here, you hang on to that. Okay. Right there.
Harry helped me with the paperwork in the law library.
Yeah, no.
Okay, read that. I'm going to find you another book.
I didn't feel 80 years was just for having committed robberies where nobody was hurt, nobody was killed.
That's Texas justice for you, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
During the early to mid-90s, things began to change in Texas. A zero-tolerance policy towards crime began to take shape. There was a mentality of locking them up and throwing away the key.
Oh?
About a year after arriving at Darrington, my appeal was denied.
It's just a brief note from the Court of Criminal Appeals, and it was basically, hey, we don't care nothing about you. And that's like getting hit in the face with a dirty diaper. And you feel like the loneliest person in the world. In prison, a lot of people are there going to talk about escape. But the truth of the matter is they settle into a comfort zone. And something dramatic has to remove them from that comfort zone.
For me, it was the riot.
I'm fearful for my life. My biggest fear is someone's going to stab me. I'm going to end up dead. I've never seen so much blood in my life.
Get down! Head down on the ground! Down! Head down!
I had already known about inmates with AIDS.
Head on the ground!
Once they laid me down in that blood, it was another fear of that's how I'm going to die. When I saw that it was just that easy to happen, I thought, if you're going to kill me, I'll give you a shot at me going over the fence.
Harry. Okay. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, if we don't get out of here, they're gonna kill us.
Well, if you're going, I'm going too.
I need it, Harry. So picture this is the first fence. And that's gonna be the second fence.
I told him we could cut the first fence and go over the second one. He said, well, why don't we just cut through both of them? And I told him, do you want to sit in between the middle of the fence and cut it? You're sitting duck. You're fair game inside that fence.
So we're gonna have to take the fastest route possible for the second fence, which means going straight over.
How are we gonna do it?
We're gonna wrap blankets around our legs, and that's gonna protect us from the razor wire.
If we flipped over the top so our body weight pulled us off the barbs, I figured we'd be okay.
Kinda like you're doing a handstand, right?
We're worried that if one of us got cut going over that razor wire and it was fatal or it was to the point you couldn't stop the bleeding, what were we going to do? And then there was the biggest fear. What happens if they open fire before we even get on the second fence?
The guard towers are staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They make no secret of the fact that if an inmate attempts to escape, they are going to shoot to stop that person.
Man, that's a .223 bullet and it's going to kill you. It's going to rip through you when it hits you.
So what did I miss? Well, there was a prison break over the other prison, eh?
You're kidding. 3 guys got out, but they secured the perimeter pretty easily.
Oh, man.
Once I decided to break out, I began to see how the unit would respond.
Any big directions from the big guy?
I believed that in order to beat my enemy, I had to know my enemy.
How long did it take? About a half an hour.
I learned that it's a 5-mile perimeter, and that perimeter is set up as quickly as possible.
The real nightmare begins if the prisoner gets outside of that initial perimeter. Inside that perimeter, you're able to contain them. Outside that perimeter, you have no control.
There's only one way to do this, okay?
Once I learned that they put a 5-mile perimeter out, that was etched in stone in my head.
We gotta get over these fences and run 5 miles in less than 30 minutes.
5 miles.
5 miles. That's the goal.
Which means we gotta get in shape. Run in shape.
Beat 5 miles and get there as fast as you can. There were no other options than to run, you know, on foot. In high school, I ran cross country, and then in prison, running was an outlet for me to free my mind. I could picture myself running down the beach just thinking of freedom, you know, oceans, sun, waves crashing. Mentally, I'm somewhere else. That would just enable me to just keep running nonstop.
But Harry never liked running too much.
What can I do for you? I need some wire cutters.
You know, in the penitentiary, if you ask somebody for some wire cutters, it's understood what you want them for. You're not clipping your toenails with them, that's for sure.
What's in it for me? Extra food, whenever you want. I control the pantry.
Okay. We discussed on several occasions of when we were going to pass these cutters. And then one day he told me, he said, I got them.
It'll be under your tray. Just make sure it's clear.
And when you say it's cool, I'm handing them to you. I stuck my tray into the slot. He stuck the cutters under the tray so that when I pulled my hand straight back out, they went right into my pants. I'm shaking worse than when I was doing a robbery. If I walk out of this chow hall and one of these officers stop me with this, it's over. I mean, it had my palms sweating. When I took them back to the kitchen, there's a fence that houses the ice machine. And when no one else was around, I tried the cutters out. Come on. I didn't think they were going to work. I thought I did all that for nothing.
I hid the cutters in a box of meat in the freezer.
I got to thinking, look, bolt cutters have big handles on them. If I can just get some leverage, and I come up with an idea of cutting a couple pieces of copper tubing and slipping them over like cheater bars. And everything was right back on schedule.
But getting through the fence was no good if we didn't know where to run to once we were out. Then one day, I saw a church brochure laying on the floor.
When I looked to the back of it, I saw the map of the area. And I thought to myself, you gotta be kidding me. You're not serious. Somebody is sending me a message. They don't want me here. I knew that if I put together what I had gathered with what the map showed, I was no longer running blind. There was a perimeter that was no longer elusive. I knew the boundaries, I knew the lines, and I knew where I had to go to cross them.
Within half an hour of busting out, follow the power lines and get across Highway 288, the 5-mile search perimeter. then head northeast towards Houston.
It was rock solid then. It's gonna happen.
That barbed wire is razor sharp. You get caught up on there, man, you can bleed to death.
Going over the fences was the most dangerous option of all. Because it was the most dangerous, we looked for ways to reduce the danger. And that's where taking the lights out came in. And so I got to thinking, where's the lights at? Where's the generator that runs the lights? Can one switch take out the lights? Harry and I knew the generator was in the boiler room.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
There was a guy who had just got fired from the boiler room, and he started giving me the information.
Are all the lights for the prison run from the boiler room? Yeah?
He said the boiler room powered the entire prison, and the backup generator was in the same place. It was music to my ears. From the boiler room, we could take out every light in the prison, but we didn't know how to get inside. There was a security fence, and there's no way the guys working the generators would help us out.
The boiler room at Darrington was manned by some of the most trusted offenders, and most of them take a lot of pride in their jobs.
Then one day, an inmate called Jason Montgomery walked up to me.
Did you talk to you for some? Listen, man, I'm in here for life. And, you know, I want out, man. I heard you have a plan.
What plan? What are you talking about?
There was only one other person that could have told him.
Who told you that?
Somebody told me that.
Why don't you go find that somebody and bring him to me so I can see who it is, okay?
All right.
I was just pissed that the dude had loose lips and he couldn't be trusted.
You know, you got quite a mouth on you, buddy. Now, who is this guy?
Just calm down. Jason's solid. He's okay.
I didn't know nothing about the guy. But I decided to let Jason in on my plan because I was afraid that if I didn't, he would go tell. He would snitch it off.
Okay, you're in.
As luck would have it, Jason brought a whole new dimension to the escape.
I know the guy in the boiler room.
Jason had been down in the boiler room and knew those guys there.
Are you serious? Can you get us in?
From that point on, the lights are gonna go out. And I just kept thinking, is there something that I'm overlooking?
The evening we bust out, I pick up Jason in the rec room, walk down the main corridor, get through the checkpoint leading to Harry's cell block. The boiler room is nearby. We overpower the guys there, shut out the lights, then run to the fences.
When I go over it, it's just saying in my head, it'll work, it'll work. You've got it figured out. The rest is just executing it.
I had just arrived at the Darrington unit in November of 1994. By the time Thanksgiving rolled around, I'd been there about 2.5 weeks.
The problem with the guard up top there, that's been resolved, right? I was told he was going to be done this morning.
I was just getting my feet on the ground, figuring out the facility and the staff.
I told Harry and Jason we were busting out on the Saturday night of Thanksgiving weekend.
So that means top dogs, they're gone. Everyone's at home with their wives. It's their best shot at. You with me?
I'm with you, man.
You sure?
Yeah, I told you, man. I'm with you.
On the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I left the facility and drove, picked up my children, and went to my mother's house in Killeen, Texas, which is about 4 hours from Darrington.
shortly before the count. I put the wire cutters in my shoes. I had my blanket. And I brought my coat. As they opened the door to let us go out for chow,
Come on.
I thought to myself, I won't be coming back to this cell. And as I walked down the run and then went down the stairs, that's when I met Jason.
You ready for this? Yeah, man. Let's do it.
The biggest problem would be getting through the checkpoint leading to Harry's cell block.
There's constant counting of the offenders. You want to make sure that where the prisoner is, he's authorized to be.
Jason got through no problem. But when I got to the officer, she suddenly stopped me.
You don't live in that dorm.
And that's when I told her, I said, yeah, I do. You just moved me out there 2 days ago.
Getting a little senile on us?
I said, come on, check the roster.
Okay, go.
And when she said, go on, I was like, holy cow. In my mind, I'm thinking, there's no way you're gonna stop me now.
Harry was waiting to see if we were gonna show up. He was gonna meet us in the boiler room in 5 minutes.
Jason's job description was to take the boiler room clerk and subdue him.
It's Jason.
And after 5-6 minutes, he hasn't done anything. Count time's at 9:30. The clock's ticking, and the longer he waits, the more chances of an officer catching us. And that's when I decide I'm not waiting no more. I gotta go see what's going on. And as I peek open the door and I see Jason sitting there talking, this stupid idiot.
Mind if I talk to him for a second? Go ahead.
I said, man, what are you doing? You know, you're gonna take the dude out or what, man? We're on the timeline. That's when he says,
Can we do this tomorrow, man?
my first thought was, you gotta be kidding me.
Now, you're not gonna screw this up for me.
You don't wanna do it, I'll do it.
Are you in? Are you sure?
He just put him in a chokehold and brought him down to the ground. And I just told him, said, look, man, if you stud up, I'll kill you. That's when I told Jason, start cutting your blanket. And then the buzzer for the gate goes off. And my heart just stopped. Well, I grabbed the screwdriver and I walked over to the door.
Who is it?
It's me, man.
It's Harry.
Once I saw it was Harry, I was just like, oh, good. Come on, come on, come on.
Come on, Harry, let's go.
We cut our blanket in half so we can wrap it around our waist and took a screwdriver and stuck it through it and used shoestrings to tie it around like chaps.
To throw the dogs off, we put dirty socks stolen from the laundry over our shoes. Then poured in cayenne pepper I got from the kitchen. We were ready to leave. I started loosening the fuel lines to the backup generator.
Inside of me, I just felt as if it was the last act before it all goes down. Within the next few minutes, this generator's useless, all hell's gonna break loose, and they're not gonna have no way to get this power back on.
Which one is it? You sure? Like you're gonna pull it, right?
I told Jason.
Pull it!
And at that moment of turning back, that was erased. hear people hollering, "Hey! Hey!" Perfect, perfect. If I have to climb on this fence, it's gonna cover the noise. I ran to the spot. And I began to cut along the bottom of the fence. Anxiety is built up inside you, pushing yourself, saying, come on, come on, come on. I was the first one in between the two fences, and I'm thinking to myself, at any minute, I'm a dead man.
Come on, go, 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 go. Come on, go, go.
We moved to the second fence.
Okay, get ready.
And suddenly, Jason says,
Give me the pliers. What? Give me the pliers. Cut through the wire. No, we're going over. There's barbed wire up there. I'm not cold enough. We don't have time to cut through the fence. You know that.
A person could get over that fence in less than 9 seconds. It would take me more than 9 seconds to cut that fence.
You want the wire cutters? These wire cutters. You sure?
So I threw the pliers over the fence. That changed his mind real quick.
the razor wire hooked my coat, but my weight pulled me off the fence.
As soon as I hit the ground, I'm outside of that mental fence. I'm outside of that physical fence. It's wide open spaces from here on out. When I turned around, I saw Harry stuck on the fence. I thought, damn it, he didn't listen to me. They're gonna kill him if he stays up there. Plus, if they see him up there, they'll know someone did escape. I gotta go back. I reached up and I jerked him as hard as I could to get him untangled.
You good?
Yeah. As I turned to look to see if he'd gotten up, that's when I seen him kind of hobbling. So I knew he wasn't gonna keep up with me. As I took off running, I heard a loud voice holler, "Halt!" And then came rapid shots. And I thought, they're gonna kill you. When the shots rang out, all of the time that I had banked on before they knew that there had been an escape had evaporated just like that. And that's when I thought, I got to go. As fast as you can, as far as you can, as long as you can. Just keep running.
That's good. That's very good.
I was sitting at the kitchen table in my mother's home playing a board game with my children.
Don't cheat.
When the phone rang,
Hello?
and it was Major Johnny Thomas, and the first word out of his mouth was, "We've had an escape."
How many? When?
Like any other prison warden, I immediately felt absolutely sick to my stomach.
No, I'm coming now. I have to go. I'm sorry, guys.
When I arrived at the facility, it was utter chaos. I'm very apprehensive, very frustrated. You don't know who's gone. All you know is that some shots were fired, there was some sabotage, and that you're doing the best that you can. Once the alarm is raised, we're going to lock down the prison, start conducting a detailed count to find out who exactly is gone. Then start putting people on the perimeter. We're going to contact the local police so they can respond.
The faster you can put your resources in place, the better chance you have of catching the offender. Minutes can be absolutely crucial.
I heard the sound of a van. And I thought, son of a bitch. They're chasing me. I thought as long as it's one, I can get past him. I just ran as hard as I could. You can do it. You can do it. I got you. I got you. Just keep going. I knew that if I could get to 288 within the next 30 minutes, that I could get across that road. But the longer I wait, the more cars are going to be there. Inside my head, that clock kept saying, go, 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 go.
The terrain from this point on was unfamiliar to me. Then I saw the power lines, which I knew ran parallel to Highway 288. I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Major. Warden, so what's the scoop?
When I first got there, I was told that the tracking dogs had run a strong scent up to a large copse of woods right outside the unit.
We picked up a couple of scents back there. There was 2 trails, but this was the strongest scent.
The belief was that all 3 of them were in that woods and that woods were contained.
You said there were a couple cents though, right? What about the other? No one's checking it out?
Look, everything's under control, Warden.
He said there's no way anybody could have run that quickly and gotten that far ahead of us, so it had to be ghosts.
Well, maybe we should check it. I'd like to be taken out to 288, please.
Crossing 288, in my mind, was like the last part of the chess game. All the pieces are in position. It's at that point that I size up the cars to make sure I'm not misidentifying one of them.
I waited for a gap. Then I hurried across on all 4s. So if somebody saw me, I would look like a dog running across the road.
Once I get across the road, in my mind, it's checkmate. I've won the game. The hardest part's over. You know, the best things are yet to come.
When we got there, I said, as a crow flies.
How far are we from Darrington?
3 miles or so.
And that's when I felt sick again.
How much of a jogging man are you, Major?
No, not really.
And I told him, well, I am, and I could easily have covered that distance in about
25 minutes.
Well, at that point, I felt certain that our initial perimeter had been beaten.
I felt that the odds had drastically went up. Now's the golden opportunity to put some distance between us.
A convict on the run could just disappear in the woods near the Darrington prison unit, so guards launched a systematic search cutting through the thick underbrush.
We probably had upwards of 180, 250 people looking for these guys. They got about 2/3 of the way through when one of them actually hit something on the ground they felt like was a man. When they investigated, they had actually caught Montgomery. We caught Decker in the housing area the second night of the chase.
But frustrated guards still can't find the third escapee.
And at this point, I realized that Dennis Wayne Hope was a pretty smart guy. He had beat us and was gone. I took it very personally.
The ground search is the responsibility of the warden. As soon as that perimeter is taken down, it becomes my sole responsibility to capture him.
This is Dennis Hope. Well, this guy is fit and he's smart. He outran the guards. I want you to find out everything you can about this guy. What his girlfriend looked like, what kind of car he drives.
We anticipated that Hope would return to the Dallas area because that's where his friends and family were located.
I knew that I needed money, and I knew that the fastest way to get it would be a place that I had robbed before. It's just a matter of time now. Dallas, Texas, here I come.
Excuse me, sir. Do you mind giving me a lift?
The majority of these individuals are sociopaths.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna need your car, old man. Can you just keep driving and do exactly... No, you do exactly what I say.
You know, they'll hurt anybody that gets in their way.
Pull over here.
When I got $30 from the old man's wallet, I knew that wasn't enough to buy a gun. But I'd seen some BB guns that looked real, and that's when I decided that I'll go get one of those.
I pulled up at a grocery store I'd robbed before prison. At the time of day, they always used to count their cash. I walked in, and sure enough, I could see the safe was wide open.
When I stood there waiting for the other two people to move out of the way, that's when all the adrenaline is just dumping through. You know, it's just like time's moving in slow motion. I said, do you know what time it is? She looked at her watch. And I said, well, I'll tell you.
You fill up this bag now.
And the guy,
Give it to him!
he knows the routine.
Move! Let's go.
He puts the money in the sack, and as he hands it to me, I'm thinking, that's all I needed. From this point, I get everything that I need. I'm scot-free.
Give me all your money now! Give it to me! Move!
For the next few weeks, I was robbing stores in Dallas.
Is that it?
Using the money in Memphis to party, to gamble, date good-looking women, catch up for lost time.
Give me your money now!
At this stage, we believe he's in the Dallas area because the robberies are occurring in the Dallas area.
Move it! Let's go!
What you got? Anything?
Nothing. All clear.
It was embarrassing. I mean, we were spending all sorts of resources to catch him, and we couldn't. Then things happened rather quickly. The police in Memphis recovered the car carjacked from the elderly man. Hope's prints were in the car, and a newspaper with apartments for rent circled. In the meantime, electronic surveillance had picked up 2 phone calls made from Memphis to a known female associate of Hope's. We immediately headed to Memphis. There's no perfect fugitive. They're going to make a mistake. You just got to make sure that you're there to catch it.
Give me all your money now!
The phone calls led us to a meatpacking store.
Who are you? Gentlemen?
The manager told us that that phone number belonged to his secretary.
She's up there.
You go, sir?
Don't keep her long. She's got work to do.
All right.
This is Officer Fawcett. I'm Officer Moriarty.
Hi, Lucy.
She told us that her sister was dating a man named Dennis from Texas.
Is my sister okay?
We then got the secretary to page Dennis Wayne Hope.
All right, we wait.
He returned the call.
Hello? Hi, Dennis.
He told her that he was at the Denim and Diamonds nightclub.
Okay, I'll see you then.
He also said that he was driving a Jaguar and had a white cowboy hat on, blue jeans, boots, and a Western shirt.
When I was on the run, I didn't try too hard to conceal myself or not to be caught. I didn't want to live like a hermit. To me, that would be meaningless.
We immediately drove to Denim and Diamonds and started looking for the Jaguar. We found it parked in the back of the parking lot. We wanted to disable the Jaguar so that he couldn't get away. So we cut the tires.
Mrs. Fawcett, we need backup at the Denim and Diamonds.
And as soon as we went in, I immediately saw him. Our biggest fear is that he's armed, and then we'd have a gunfight in our hands in a crowded bar. And we decided we could get up right on top of him and just grab him.
Then I thought I spotted somebody looking at me. I didn't see any officer immediately. I thought, okay, just calm down. Don't get paranoid.
We just kind of worked our way like we were listening to the music and finally got over to him. I looked at Lou and we nodded and we just took him.
Get off! Get off! Get off me!
Son of a bitch. And that's when he said, yeah, we know who you are.
Get your hands off me!
I'm thinking, all that work, and you just screwed it off, being careless.
He was in total shock. He could not believe that two cops from Texas were in Memphis to get him.
Get your hands off me! Get off me! Get off, like you said!
There's a sense of despair. Life as you knew it, from that point on, it's over with.
It was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and my phone rings.
Hello? Dennis Wayne Hope. You got hope?
I can't describe to you that feeling.
Yeah! Yes!
In prison parlance, my count was clear.
Where I am now, I know that that time is just passing me by. You know, it's like trying to put raindrops back into a cloud. It's not going to happen. You're just, you know, waiting until the day that your heart stops beating. And to me, that's not life.